Patrice.
You're welcome.
And we're back. This is the 11th hour with Bryce Curry.
Johnny,
Thank you for tuning in to CNN. Recently in
that light on though,
Minneapolis.
ain't it? Ain't that light on though?
It is.
Is that light on, Bryce?
It so is.
Patrice, do you see that light?
I do see a light. Yes,
Hey, come on,
I do
Johnny.
see that.
Johnny, I need you to
I
give it
see
to
the
me, Johnny.
white
I need you to
light.
see that
I
light,
think
Johnny.
this thing is working. So I'm so sorry. I'm so out today. It's unreal. I'm so sorry, you guys. But Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We are coming at you live. Rain Outreach Team. We are here and have a conversation. Please tune in. We're not gonna start conversation until I get about 20 people on my live. Tune in, tag a friend, share, do what you gotta do, get it together, and let's pull these viewings up. I want to shout out to TS Madison for that. Thank you. And everybody else for all the things that I done used over the past. So before we get started, I am going to do a little advertisement that we do for Rain, so that they don't get lost in translation. I'm gonna be very honest tonight. The conversation can get a bit heavy. We do for the first time have people that are that we have asked to come on and have a conversation with us about the topic that we're talking about tonight. What I ask from the audience that's watching is please be respectful because there are different point of views, different opinions that will be talked about today. Everybody would not 100% agree, and I'm okay with that. The point of this is for us to have a conversation, start a conversation, and go back to where you can sit at your dinner table and have that conversation with your family as well. That is the point. It is not to persuade you left to right, right to left. We're not looking to persuade anybody. We're not looking to tell anybody that they're right or wrong. It doesn't matter. We just want to start the conversation. So,
Yes.
before I get started, I want to introduce my the fabulous staff here. So, I guess I'm gonna start. I'm Johnny. Work at Rain. I wear a lot of different hats at Rain. One of the ones would be peer retention specialist. I'm so out of it today, y'all. I can't even talk like I want to. And I do apologize about that. But peer retention specialist, I go out into the community, find people who are out of care, link them back into care, create a curriculum to where they are getting ready for traditional case management after working with me for a year. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna allow Shawn to go second.
Well, hey everybody, how y'all doing? I'm sure y'all already I didn't know he was gonna call on me so quick. But my name is Shawn. Y'all already know I'm the peer outreach specialist for Rain and with Crew. Pretty much I specialize in harm reduction as it relates to substance use. So if you know anyone dealing with substance use, anyone dealing with addiction or anything in that matter, please feel free to inbox me at the number below. I'm more than happy to reach out. I'm also out in the community doing HIV testing and Hep C testing, also advocating and educating about healthy, safe sex practices. So if you need any information about that as well, please feel free to contact me.
Thank you. Right. I'm gonna have Bryce go next.
Hey everyone, my name is Bryce Curry. I am also a peer retention specialist at Rain. I am the second half of my favorite person in the whole wide world, Johnny. So what we do is we find people who have been out of care and help them get linked back to care. We also find help people who are newly diagnosed get into care within 2 to 3 weeks of their diagnosis. We follow them for a year and we help them get ready for traditional case management, or we help them become independent so they can handle their own medical care on their own.
And then we have Miss Mother.
I hate you all. Hi, I'm Patrice. I am the prevention case manager here at Rain. I specialize in getting people on PrEP and giving them case management services, helping them facilitate whatever they need, whether it be finding a job, getting back in school, making sure they have food, transportation to and from wherever they need to go. I also go out into the community and have conversations about having healthy sexual behavior, being able to use condoms, what are STIs, giving out Plan B, all those kind of different things to help take away the stigma around sex and making it a bad thing and making sure that you can have a healthy sexual lifestyle. You just have to be prepared.
You say that.
Thank you, Patrice. So normally a lot of our conversations be about sexual health. That's pretty much the premise of what we do. However, tonight, because of the I can't even put into words on what to describe it, the injustice that's been taking place with our people for so long. I felt like that it would have been a disjustice to not talk about this conversation today. Again, we were talking about PrEP in the community today. I woke up morning, been crying for hours, thinking about the situation. I'm not going to get into detail as of right now, but I feel like it's had to be talked about. And I know that there are people that don't necessarily agree with what I agree with. We may have the same overall message, but different technicalities and different aspects of what I think may not be what my panelists think. It may not be what the community thinks. And I'm open and ready to have that conversation with my people. So before I do that, I do want to let you know that we're still in the month of May. May is, as of right now,
last week.
AIDS Walk.
That's the last week.
This the last week.
Bring it in.
Traditionally, AIDS Walk take place on the first Saturday of the month of May. However, due to the pandemic, we have decided to extend it out for the full month of May. So we're able to you're able to donate. If you're unable to donate, here are ways that you can still be a part of that conversation. You can share this post, like the post, tag a friend, go outside and walk and record and send that in. These are different ways that you can still support the AIDS Walk without spending any money. So please, please, please do so. Also, we do have some focus groups that are taking place as of now. The focus groups are to bring in individuals, Black MSM, and engage them on PrEP. Historically, white men have sit behind their desks and create interventions for our people that does not work. As of right now, we're looking to organize a focus group to create interventions right there at that table, so that we can engage our community with PrEP and it actually works. So we need to hear from people. We need to hear from you. Be a part of that conversation. Come in, join in. I know that your time ain't free, so if you come in and sign up, we will pay you for your time. So please, please, please be a part of that conversation. Unfortunately, that is not open to everybody. That is open to people. Black MSM, it stands for Black Gay Men. Black men that have sex with men. So if you
gender loving
are in that group, same gender loving, all of that. If you're in that group, please, 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 please contact myself, Shawn, Bryce, or Patrice to be a part of that conversation. On the other end of that, we're also doing in-depth interviews. What they look like is I'm looking for people that are actually on PrEP right now. And we want to know how and why it's working for you. You guys will also be a key factor in creating those interventions because you're on PrEP already and it's working. We want to dive into how it's working, why it's working, and how it has changed the dynamic of your life so that we can put that on paper and create interventions for other people to have a success story just like you're having. So please, 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 please be a part of that conversation as well. And that's pretty much all I have for you as far as advertisement today. I'm going to go ahead and kick off the conversation. Before I kick off the conversation,
yes.
I do want to bring on some panelists. We want to go ahead and give like a little light introduction of each person that's on. So that when they do come on, you're kind of familiarized with who they are, and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead. I see Jasmine first. So Patrice, I'll let you take that over.
Okay. Jasmine Sherman is the executive director of Greater Charlotte Rise. It is a 501c3 that is created and led by Black women who are dedicated to seeing a change in the community after seeing marginalized members who were homeless and the ignoring that was going on of the voices of those people. During the winter, she operates a non-discriminatory shelter in Charlotte and is working to create and disperse resources to those who need it. Hi, Jasmine.
Hey. Okay, full by your team.
Hey.
Okay, Go ahead,
Thank you,
girl.
Jasmine, for being part of the conversation. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
So next, I have Chandler. I'm going to do a light introduction for her. Um, Chandler is a Charlotte native attending Northwest School of the Arts. She graduated from Meredith College, where she received her bachelor's in graphic designing. She finished her master's in nonprofit leadership and management in May of 2020. After working for a local sportswear company as lead graphic designer. I'm sorry about that, Chandler. Chandler began working as a teacher teaching artists for the Arts of Science Council. She launched a freelance graphic design business, Dare Design, in 2018 with clients such as Big Brother, Big Sister of Central Carolinas, Grant Center, and YES, which stands for Youth Empowerment Solutions. Thank you, Chandler, for coming on and being part of the conversation.
Of course. It's something I'm passionate about.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate having you. We're going to go ahead on. So, boom. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. It's going to take me a little minute to get used to more than 6 people being on here.
You done took Jasmine off and put Jamal on. Hey, Jamal.
Hey, what's up, Patrice?
Nothing much. Jamal Holmes is an award-winning indie R&B soul recording artist and a recording engineer in Hollywood, California. He is originally from the Charlotte area and went to West Charlotte.
Let's see.
How you been?
I'm good. Ready to get out of this house, but trying to stay safe.
Yeah. Thank you for being a part of our stream today.
Thank you for asking.
Get on it live. Get on it live.
Johnny.
All right.
Oh, so many
and Daryl,
things.
we have Daryl on the line as well.
Hey.
So I'm going to give a little brief intro for my best friend. Daryl is my best friend. He is a property manager here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been knowing him well over 16 years now, and I wanted him to be a part of this conversation, not only because he is Caucasian, but the fact that he actually understands exactly where I'm coming from. We have similar agreements when it comes to the situation that we're going to talk about tonight. So, best friend, if you want to, give some more intro to yourself, please do so. But they hit me. I didn't know they had bios like that. I didn't know they had bios like that. They got me.
That's generalized. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm here.
Thanks.
Perfect. So, because of how unprepared I am, like I said, this was very much of a last minute type thing. I'm just going to start the conversation. I'm going to start the conversation in regards to where do we stand, where we at, what does look like, how do we start change, what does police reform look like, what does that really mean, and how can we change that? So, before I go on, I'm sorry, Toya joined the line again. Let me put her on. Give me 1 second.
Oh.
So this is Toya. This is Toya. She is a community she is a community member. She's a part of the Black community. She's a heterosexual woman, the mother of 2, a boy and a girl. And I just couldn't have this conversation without a mother being on this panel. That we need to hear that. We need to hear how she feels. And make sure that voice is being heard inside this conversation. So I definitely wanted to bring her on as well, you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I think that, Johnny, when the opening of this conversation is kind of it could go either way. So, do you want to talk about the police brutality in and of itself? Do you want to talk about the history of the police brutality? Why is it still going on? How many people have been killed this year? Where do you want to start?
So I'm gonna start it off like this. Last night I was visiting a friend's house, and we seen some videos in regards to police. So the video that I seen in particular, this man didn't die. This is the first video that I seen because I was trying my best to ignore the situation, not have a comment on it, not really, I was trying my best to ignore it because it was just happening so much. I had got to the point where I had tapped out. I didn't want to hear no more. I'm tired of hearing this. This one video touched my soul in so many different ways. So there were at least 25 police officers, maybe 20 cars pointed to this one black man. And again, this black man didn't die now, so this ain't one of the ones that actually died this time. But they was pointing at this one black man. He's in a field, and you can tell that behind him is his apartment complex. And it's like his mother or his grandmother is on the porch watching this. So the man is screaming and yelling, "I don't have a gun." His hands are up in the air. "I do not have a gun. Please drop your guns. I am scared."
Mm-hmm.
There are people around that are circling. There are people around that are circling. That are filming. This is how we're able to watch. They're filming this, yelling and screaming. "He don't have a gun. He don't have a gun. Drop your gun. He's scared." They would not drop this. This goes on for a good 20 minutes. I'm screaming, "This man don't have a gun." This man then gets on the ground, put his hands behind his back, and at this point he is screaming and yelling, "I am scared. I am scared. I do not have a gun. I don't know what else you want me to do." But their guns still pointed at him, ready to shoot. They're not twitching. They're not dropping their guns. Their guns are still pointed. He is, and then I think what hurt me so bad is that you can hear the fear in his voice as he is screaming. And you can hear the fear in his voice as this man is screaming, "I don't have a gun. I don't know what else you want me to do. Please don't shoot me." I watched that last night, and I woke up this morning and instantly thought about it for whatever reason, and just started crying. I started crying not because because I fear that if I get pulled over by the police, I don't know exactly what to do. It's a scary feeling as a black man, and this is my point of view. I'm not talking for everybody else. I'm not talking for every black man. It's scary for me because to see that this man don't have a gun. If he would have twitched the wrong way, they would have shot him.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary.
Yeah. When Mike Brown,
it's a scary feeling.
When Mike Brown passed away, I came to the realization that a police officer could kill me, and the only thing my mother could do about it is bury me.
That's it.
So now my interactions with the police is very much either give me my ticket or get it done and get it over with. I'm beyond tired. I'm exhausted. I'm upset, and I'm furious. I just want vengeance for all the unarmed Black people who were murdered by police in many different ways. Whether it's them being shot or them being suffocated, whether them being shot or suffocated outside, whether them being shot or suffocated in their homes. I'm just exhausted, and it breaks my heart because it broke my heart this morning thinking about, George Floyd in Minneapolis, because I realized that, he could be me, I could be him, right. And it's painful.
Right.
And it gives me a great deal of anxiety because it feels like there's no safety. It's like it's a thing that I could just go to Food Line one day and get killed by a police officer over a little altercation.
I think
I'm on the fence of like, do I let my anxiety get the best of me, or do I just say fuck it and just keep living? I don't know how to feel. I'm exhausted.
Right. I agree. I think for me, like I was when I tag on to you, Bryce. For me, like it is a scary feeling to have to live in a society where I have to watch my surroundings or watch everything I do because I feel like I'm being critiqued or criticized because of the color of my skin, because of the way I dress, because of the way I talk, because of the way I may act. All those things are being judged. It just like Johnny was saying earlier too. I watched the same video. It bothered me too, to the point where I felt like I almost broke. I almost broke down about the situation watching the video, because not only was the boy involved, the grandma approached the situation with the police, and the police knocked her down. This is a 90-year-old Black African American woman that's being knocked down by the police during a situation that's not even that serious to be even attacking this Black African American male the way that they were doing. So me hearing this over and over again and seeing all the deaths, hearing all the stories, seeing how they just, police coming, people, even your neighbors can come in your house and say that, they may be white and that you did something to them because you Black, and the police can come there and investigate and still shoot you because of the fact that you being Black. Like, the emotions behind it make me want to cry even talking about it. Like, it's really, really torture, and not even just the fact that I'm Black, but I'm gay and I'm Black. You know what I mean? So it's not just one stigma behind me, but walking every day, living in this society, having to deal with that. Mentally, I get where you're coming from, Bryce, because I'm wondering, like, do I assess the situation? Do I say something, or do I not say something? Because even if I say something, what's changing? It's still happening in front of me. It's still happening around me. What is my voice doing? What is me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just baffles me. Like, I can't.
Right.
Like, I can't.
Yeah, I want to hear from some of the women that's on the live. Chandler and Jasmine, you've been added to be a part of that conversation. Patrice.
Go
I
ahead, Jasmine.
commend you
Or
guys.
Chandler.
I first off commend you guys for being able to finish watching the videos. I can't do it anymore. Soon as I see it, I watch it, of course, like to just see like the first beginning. But even with the Minneapolis situation, and you just kept hearing him say, like, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Like, I literally felt like something rise inside of me. And I was like, you know what? I can't do it. Not today. Like, and I mean, I not joke with my friends, but when they see us, I still haven't watched it. I just can't do it. I know there's action that needs to be done, and I know, Shawn, that you don't know how much more you can say, because I mean, we've tried so many different methods, and it doesn't seem like they care. Like, it just seems like they genuinely do not care. But I just want to say I commend you guys for even being able to watch stuff, because I just can't anymore, because it just then puts a whole negative stigma in my head about everyone in that spectrum, and I don't want to do that either, but it's hard not to, right? And so it just creates this barrier. It's just a really
Right.
It's just tough. It's just tough.
Yeah.
So I have a different perspective, and I don't know if I'm pretty sure it will not be a popular perspective. As Patrice knows,
Love it.
As Patrice knows, I do try to be as honest as possible, just because nobody has time for lies and BS. So I'm no longer watching these videos. I'm no longer watching slave movies. I am no longer
Oh God, no. Never done that.
I'm no longer engaging in Black poverty porn. And so when it comes to this, where my disappointment lies is in us. We already know that you look a certain way, you are treated a certain way. And even if you do look the way they say you're supposed to look on the day the way you should have looked, it won't matter. Because no matter what you've done, you could be at your home sleeping and they shoot you. You could be at your own house and they come in and shoot you. And because they thought it was somebody else's apartment, right? So I'm not surprised, but I am so disappointed in Black people. And when I say I'm disappointed in Black people, because we all do this every time this happens. I think the reason we're not getting any results is because everybody's all, this is that unpopular opinion part. We're all so, let's be like Martin. Fuck Martin. Y'all need to be like Malcolm and Huey. Like,
Hello?
I'm done.
Thank you.
Right?
Oh,
Hello?
somebody finally said
Somebody.
it.
Yeah.
So like I'm done, right? Like everybody. Now, what helps me in this is that I am fat, and what's cool about that is like I am almost a 400-pound pansexual Black woman, right? So there's not too much else somebody can surprise me with besides like you got to go run and do something because that's not my thing. But what I mean to say is there's no label that I'm afraid to wear. And I'm honest with myself in knowing that I am tired. I'm tired of us trying the same stuff that didn't work for Martin, didn't work for Malcolm. Like we have to do something different. And the thing that we no longer do, because I don't want to risk my cushy job, so I don't want a record. We no longer fight. We
Right.
no longer fight. What we do is we allow. I'm an atheist, right? I know God doesn't exist in my world, right? There's
Say it
no God.
again.
And so what my problem is everybody's like, oh, we go and listen to people who are like, well, I was in the civil rights movement when it happened. And I was like, cool, that was great at the time, but you ain't gotten us nowhere different now. So we should stop listening to people's like, oh, you need to go to the church and let the church help you organize these strikes. No, thank you. It didn't work when you guys did it that way. When y'all walked across the bridge in Selma and everybody, it was beautiful. It was nice, but it didn't work. We're still here. If you watch I'm Not Your Negro, they still kicking your ass the same way they was kicking people's ass back then. And I realize now I'm taking up a lot of space, and I apologize. I'm tired of being sad.
No, that's okay, sister.
No, what you
I'm
say is
mad
true.
that y'all aren't angry.
No, yeah.
Sorry.
And I think that's my
That's
biggest
okay, sister.
thing. Even though I haven't watched a slavery movie probably since The Color Purple. So I can't watch those kinds of movies because it fosters a very real sense of unease and anxiety in me, and it makes me feel like I need to address things that aren't necessarily there. But I am also very disappointed in Black people in that every time something happens like this and it is broadcast on national TV and it gets national news, then there's outrage. And that outrage lasts maybe 2 weeks. And then everybody goes right back to giving their money to companies that support Trump and the Republican Party, voting for people who have no need to want to put your needs into play in the government, doing all the same self-defeating shit that we've been doing for the last 60, 70 years. And then you sit there and act like you don't understand why nothing is not changing. You can't change without change. And as a people, we don't want to do that. And that's what's heartbreaking to me.
I took the liberty of adding some new people.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I agree
ahead,
with
Toya.
you, Trish.
I was gonna say if I could chime in, I agree with everybody first of all because I think we're all at our wits' end with everything that's going on. To piggyback off of you, Patrice, I think it's a matter of Black people don't know what to do or where to turn, what resources to use. It's like, and to piggyback off of Jasmine, it's kind of like we have taken a higher road or we want to pray about it, and then it gets to a point where that becomes redundant because it hasn't been working. So now it's the matter of I force myself to watch these videos because I have to now paint a narrative for my children to make them understand, oh, this is what you don't do. This is what you don't look as Black. My son is dark skinned, darker than me. And I have to now tell him, oh, don't look as dark. Don't stay out in that sun too long. So you won't appear as Black. You won't appear as Afrocentric to the people, and it's unfair. It's like I don't even know how to form these conversations with my children as it pertains to law enforcement. And mind you, they're trained to do these types of things, and they're trained to, on how to treat us. So how do we train on how to treat them, or there is no training. There is no official training, if you will. So I don't know.
Mr. Jamal, go ahead, brother.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I agree with Trees. I mean, it's also how you carry yourself as well, and what we're doing is making more of a social media, I say mockery of a lot of things by just posting videos and all that kind of stuff, which is a good thing that, we're in the age of cell phones and you can see stuff, but we're getting upset about it and, making it go viral and everyone's upset. But what are you doing to make things different? Are you writing letters?
Right.
Are you protesting in a positive way, or are you just getting upset and fighting like they're doing in Minnesota right now? Like, that's not solving anything. We keep electing these people. We keep putting ourselves in positions to be where we're at. I'm black as they come. I'm dark. My name is Jamal Rashad. I mean, there's no way around me being black. I live in Hollywood, California. A number of white people out here, Mexicans. And it's not just a black-white thing. They just showed a video today in California. There was a Hispanic sheriff that was beating up another Hispanic guy. So it's not just black people. I mean, police have a authority issue in general. It's these people that are getting these jobs that have mind problems or psychological issues that are taking it out on black people or whatever. It's not the system. It's these individuals that feel like they have no repercussion for what they're doing, and it's been happening forever. Growing up in North Carolina, you get stopped by the police. Your parents tell you, yes sir, no sir. That's what you tell the police. You're brought up. Me getting stopped by the police and searched, and getting DUI, road tests, and all that kind of stuff when I'm 18, 17 years old. I didn't think it was anything. I thought that happened everywhere. I didn't know there was anything that wasn't supposed to happen. But I look back on my life, and all this stuff has been happening to me my whole life. So I mean, there's nothing that's going to change. It's about, are we going to accept it, or what we're going to do collectively to make it happen, instead of just asking questions or getting mad and fighting.
Right.
Daryl, you mind chiming in?
Daryl, I'm here to hear. Yeah.
So first off, a lot of times I feel like these are things that I should not comment on. However, I feel that the way things have not changed and are progressing and getting worse and worse and more frequent, that white people do need to speak on this. Whether their opinions, the conversation needs to be had around the board. This needs to be something that's discussed within families. Like my family, for instance, had an argument on Facebook about this because I'm from Montana. Everyone's white in Montana basically is Native American and white there. So that's the two major races. And it's the same type of deal there. But there's people in my family that don't understand. And they're like, well, why did he run? Why did he do that? And it's beyond that at this point. It's clear that if anyone denies that people are actually being attacked and it's focused on them because of their skin color, because they're black, they're being murdered. If you deny this, that you're racist in my eyes, I'm going to cuss you out. On site, right there, we're going to have the conversation. You're racist. You're stupid. Open your fucking eyes. You're dumb. Like, that's just that. What really bugs me about this last case is how can these police generals, all these people hiring these people, we can't go to Walmart without doing a personality assessment. And how they can't do assessments on the police. You can't get these jobs without them running through your Facebook. But yet these police got Make America White Again, and these police got all this racial slurs on their Facebooks, but yet they're getting hired in the police department. But you can't go to places like Walmart and get a job if you got some crazy stuff on your Facebook. So I'm not understanding how they're even getting in these positions. That man that was on his neck had a hat on his Facebook that said Make America White Again. How did you get into your position to protect people? Because you're not. That's not what it is. They need to be eradicated. The whole system is screwed. And as my best friend being black, whatever it may be, it doesn't even matter. As a person that cares, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this. I feel like we do need to fuck up the police stations now. We need to fuck some shit up at this point. That's how I feel though. Like, how can we talk? How long have they been having these conversations? This has been going on since what, the 50s? We've been having these civil rights conversations. It's not working. The progression's too slow. But technology's so rapid. All these things are so rapid, but this is so slow. It doesn't make sense. So it's a whole top needs to fall. So however that needs to happen, it needs to happen at this point. It's not going to stop with the conversation. So me and my best friend actually disagree on this. I'm the one we disagree.
So, hold on before because we are about to get started. So that I'm not cycling through, what I'm going to do is everybody has a private chat button on their screen. Utilize that for me, so that if you want to hone in on a situation, you want to comment, and you want to be put on screen, hit that button. It'll send me a notification, and I see that your hand is up or something, so I can add you to the conversation at that particular point. I can only have 6 people on the screen at one time, so I'm gonna try to cycle through as much as possible. But I want people to kind of be able to chime in naturally, so I'm gonna do it that way as opposed to trying to cycle through the whole time. It's a lot.
It is.
I just wanted to put that out there.
I wish that some type of broad violent action would actually change something, Daryl, but it will only make it worse. They already view us as violent, savage, unreasonable. So anything that highlights any of that is only going to be a negative. When you have someone that had the education of Barack Obama and they still want to call you a monkey, and his wife has like 2 or 3 degrees, but you still want to call her names, whereas you got the Playboy Bunny, mail order bride in the mansion now. So it's always going to be a double standard.
So
it'll very rarely ever be.
But Patrice, if you know that you're going to be judged harshly and or unfairly every time, why consent to being judged? I love you to death, but that
I'm not saying that you should.
But it sounds like several people were down with respectability politics. If Barack Obama from Harvard and Michelle Obama, just for being amazing, if that's not a standard to meet or beat, if that's not good enough, there's no way that I can walk out here or you could walk out here and be something. There's no way I can smile as nice or bend over as whatever. There's nothing I can do that would be higher praise. A college degree, when the cop shoots you, he looks at your license. He doesn't ask you for your diploma. He doesn't care. In fact, what happened to the Republican, the black guy in South Carolina? He was Republican. He got pulled over and got treated like a black person, and he didn't care for it all that much either. It doesn't matter how you look, how you behave, how many times you say yes sir, no ma'am. What we need to do is just do something different. I'm tired of the calm protest. I'm also tired of the rioting. Now I understand, because our lives don't matter, we do need to communicate through the destruction of property. That makes sense to me. But I'm also not responsible for racism, so it's not my job to end it. What we need to do is utilize white people who say that they're our allies. Let them, like, you ever notice when we do South Park a couple years ago did like a movie. I'm old. That's how old I am. South Park did a movie, and they had the troops.
I know what you're talking about.
And they let all the blacks. So in the way South Park did it was all you saw was these black dots. It was evident these were black people, or people of color.
They were the front line of defense.
The front line of defense, and they just got mowed down. And like by the time they killed all the black people, they was too tired to kill the white people. So I'm not saying kill white people. What I'm trying to say, because I realize that sounds bad. What I'm trying to say though is we need to start saying it's not our job to fix racism, and start letting white people who do want to help.
Let them help.
To work. They do. Okay. They want. So like, here's the thing. If we got one white person with a platform to say, hey, white people, if you really want to learn how to fix it, and I mean like the truth, and I'm not going to give any white person the truth that's like frou-frou. Like I've always been, I'm Team Malcolm. Like I'm ready to get guns and go, right? I'm obese. I don't have that much time here anyway. So I've got to live my best life. So I said all that to say, don't look. I didn't say I wasn't good looking. I ain't say I wasn't smelling good. What I said is I'm obese. Don't mess with my oxygen.
Girl, I'm obese. It's okay. You're gonna be our girl.
Maybe you don't know what I got planned for later. Either way, what I'm trying to say is I feel very like we've done so much praying and kowtowing. There's no amount of behave that you, I, or anyone else on this call, except for the Caucasian gentleman, could do and be okay.
Okay,
so
I
hear what you're saying. I think that. Oh, go ahead, Shawn. I'm sorry.
You sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because I wanted to chime in and say something about like the whole platform thing with getting someone that's white on the platform. I've listened. I'm a social media freak. Like, I just want everybody to know that. Like, I'm on all social media platforms. I pretty much every day I'm on my phone. Patrice can tell y'all. I stay on my phone. She has to tell me to put my phone down sometimes because I get so emotional and so caught up with things that I see on social media that it bothers me because I'm such an empath. But I've seen a post recently where, people was like, oh, people like Beyonce and Rihanna, they have these platforms. Why are they not saying nothing about these topics, and why are they not saying nothing about these things? And uh, I've seen even some of the celebrities even go as far as like even donating towards certain, even when the COVID thing happened, they was donating towards like Beyonce and Megan, they donated the money from their song towards the COVID relief, right? I don't feel like that was good enough though. I feel like people do the bare minimum and just to try to get, just like, what was the guy name that was on here? The other guy that's on here? Jamal. Just like he said, we use social media as platforms a lot of times to try to gain, like, some type of, I guess,
it's a savior complex, and I think
no, that's not what I was suggesting, though. I want to clarify. That's not what I was suggesting. I understand what you're saying, Shawn, but what I was saying is, you go, okay, hey, I'm the white person. You see, y'all love me. Wait, don't look. This is my best white person. Okay, look. So I'm the white person. Hello. It's me. I'm white. So, and I go, hey, white people that follow me. Hey, I'm going to let you talk to this person who's not white, and then just pass it. Right. And then here comes me on the white platform, like, hey, white people, don't go nowhere. And they be like, no, give it back. So that's what we need to do. I don't need Bobby Ann or Joanne to speak for me. No, what I need Bobby Ann and Joanne to do for me is rent me the hall because my credit is bad. And let me go and speak, pull an okey doke. Y'all thought y'all was going to get Barbara. You getting Shirley.
Right.
Shirley.
Yes. I wanted to touch on something Daryl said earlier about police being hired to protect us. I think once people actually really learn the history of what police stand for, then they'll be like,
well, that was never their job.
That was never their job to protect us. The first police force was from New York City, and the rich hired other poor people to protect them, like as knights. Because back in the day, when a rich person did you dirty, you ran up in their shit and you killed them, and you took over. That was it. So they were scared, and they didn't want that to happen to them. So what did they do? They found other poor people and be like, "Hey, I'll give you some change if you protect me, if you look out for me." And long and behold, the NYPD police were born, and then from there it just trickled on out.
Well, in the South, the original police were slave catchers. Yeah, that's where you see the original sheriff stars. You can find sheriff stars now that have slave catcher on them. And they're actual sheriff stars.
You guys are saying it wrong. They were not slave catchers. They were retrieving property. They were catching property.
I'm sorry. It was a repo man. It was a repo man.
It was property. Law enforcement is in place to protect property. That's like like a slave wasn't a thing. A slave, you can kill a slave. They did it all the time. Slaves are not valuable, but property?
Nope.
Shit.
Property is valuable.
Go out here and bust the wrong window.
I definitely agree with that. That was one of the things that we kind of breezed by. That Jasmine said. That I did want to touch up on in regards to the writing. And I now, as I'm hearing you guys talk, I feel like I have the unpopular opinion. I do not support. I don't think that it's helping the cause. I think it's actually doing us I do think it's mostly counterproductive to riot, not only period, but riot your own community. I feel like, we're out here tearing up, tearing up the Walmart, tearing up the local store, tearing up the things that we locally depend on for our resources, tearing it up. And at what point do we get up the next day and want to go to the store to buy something? Or as a female that has a child that needs diapers, can't go to the store because the store is all tore down and I can't purchase anything because the store is closed because it got rioted last night. So or the job that was lost in that particular neighborhood or that community, from the store being rioting. There's so many losses that are taking place, and in my point of view, because of that riot that took place, that is affecting not only that our people, but everybody.
But that's
Womp,
capitalism, baby,
womp,
because those
womp,
Yeah.
stores,
womp,
those stores
womp,
are going to
womp,
file
womp,
an
womp,
insurance
womp.
claim. They do
Ain't
an
no
A, B,
bad.
C, D inventory. They
Thank
will have
you.
those shelves
Thank you.
stocked same
What
night.
the hell has
Like,
Walmart done
and,
for their
and like
community?
Amazon
What has
has increased
Target
their
done for their
employment.
community?
And
What
shoot,
has
you can't even.
AutoZone done for their community?
Well,
It's
wait,
done
there.
nothing.
I
We
did get a
talked,
stolen
we
battery
held
from
hands, we sang
AutoZone.
kumbaya. The only time shit gets changed is when you get violent. You hurt them in their pockets, then they care. You tear down the you burn down the
Hurting them in their
apartment
pockets is
complexes,
not
then
violence,
they
though.
care. So it's like
If we
there's
can
no
be,
point.
if we
There's
can get
no
together
value
financially,
in those
it would make
things.
a difference.
Okay, Patrice, but those items could be replaced. George Floyd is not coming back. So
No, I'm
what's
not
the point
talking.
of
I'm
having
not
these
talking
things?
about things being replaced. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about in order. The one thing that this country thrives on is capitalism. That's what you've seen. If nothing else, through this COVID shit, they don't give a fuck about nobody's life. Run me
Exactly.
my money. That's what they want.
Exactly.
So
That's
stop giving them your money. If the black community in this country could get together and stop giving these white people their fucking money, then they can make change in this country. But they won't do it because Walmart is too fucking convenient. They won't do it because they don't want to pay a black man more money for the same thing that they can get on Amazon in 2-day delivery for free.
Mm-hmm.
Until we as black people in this country start
if
taking
we tell them start giving them our money, then what's the
responsibility,
problem with looting? What's the issue with looting if we're
Okay,
not going to give them our money no more? What's the problem?
okay, hold on. So Chandler want to talk, and Jamal has something to say as well.
Okay, thank you. I just don't like cutting people off. It makes me feel weird. So my thing is that we need our own. We don't need to depend on them for nothing. Like back in the day when we had in Chicago, Black Wall Street, stuff like that, we need our own. So if their stuff gets messed up, because their stuff is going to get replaced, right? But like you said, his life can't get replaced. And that's just that. So if we actually had our own and work towards it, I honestly, and I know this is why Johnny brought me on, because I told people, if you disagree with the writing, then just unfriend me, because I would burn it. If something happens to me in Charlotte, North Carolina, I want you to burn
this bitch down.
Okay,
burn it down.
I don't want nothing to be left, because what I'm tired of is we've tried every method and nothing's not working. But to get to the next level, there has to be some major action, right? And I do agree is that a lot of the times, we use social media, we do all this stuff, we record, whatever have you, the momentum builds, we riot, then everything flatlines. No, there needs to be some major action happening. So if that requires some violence and some looting and some rioting, that's just what it is.
But that's what they expect. That's what they expect black people to do. Tear stuff up. That's what we're supposed to do. Tear it up, act the fool, don't know how to communicate, act crazy. They're accomplishing nothing. People in jail. Person that got off still got off. That's not the way to solve it. Tearing people's stuff up. They had nothing to do with it. That does not solve nothing.
If being good was
But
like
you
a
don't
way to
tore up
get
this
you
man's
something
business.
house.
Now say for instance that was your mother or father's business that these people done rioted and busted up. And now you don't know how you're gonna make money from day to day. These
What
people
are you talking about? My parents, if it was my parents'
business,
business, they would file an insurance claim. Why are we not saying
no,
this is capitalism?
I'm sorry, but I think
No.
that is ignorance. That is the ignorance that is keeping people where they are.
Hold people accountable that didn't do anything.
Because another thing, I also think we should stop talking about violence to a person. Like if Patrice punched me in the jaw, that's violence. If I go and I break her iPad, that's destruction of property, not violence.
Right.
No blood was shed. So
same
when we talk about
act crazy.
It's not.
That's still violent.
It's violent.
It's acting towards property. That's still
violent.
It's acting crazy. It's not
acting
solving
crazy.
anything.
No,
it's not solving anything. But what did it solve? What did it solve? Answer me that. What did you tearing up somebody else's property had nothing to do with it solving?
So first of all, I am not advocating for.
Oh, okay.
You want me to answer the question, right?
What is that solving?
So you got to let me answer the question first. So what I'm trying to say is it's not, I didn't say my job was to solve. I'm the one advocating for physical violence, not the destruction of property. I'm advocating for an ass whooping. And the reason I say, what does that solve? Because if you get punched in the mouth, you think about it before that second punch comes. Now, do I acknowledge that what I'm advocating for is going to be swift and it's going to be ugly and we may not win? damn straight. But they already call you an animal anyway, so you might as well go ahead and get your shit crossed. Be that animal today so you can be somebody tomorrow. I'm tired of doing the same old be
I
good
mean,
shit.
I have just a different view on a lot of things. I mean, I've lived all over the country, and I have different views socially on how Black people act in different places. How Black people
Wow.
act in New York are totally different than how they act in North Carolina. How Black people
I
act in North
know.
Carolina or in
It's
California
amazing,
are totally,
right?
it's just
Like,
totally different.
yeah,
So,
like
like
I've
in
lived
LA,
all over the
in
world.
LA,
Fuck the country.
in
I've
in
lived all over the
LA,
world. That doesn't
okay,
change the
okay,
stuff.
but can I talk
Where
now?
you? I'm
Okay,
just saying,
I
if
guess not.
you
Let me
not
get my point across. So,
sure,
what I'm trying to say. So the way moving out to California and LA specifically, the Black population is less than 9%, and that's like nobody in a big city like this, and they're all in one side of town, and they have the same somewhat kind of mentality as I'm not going to say North Carolina because it's not Southern, it's a little bit broader scope, but it's fuck the police, or I'm sorry for saying the F word, it's forget the police. It's still a mentality to where it's less than. You're not going to get your point across if you are being violent or you're doing things that are destructive. You're doing things that make people will be afraid of you rather than to help you. People are not going to want to be on your side and on your team if they're afraid of you. If they think the first thing you're going to do is tear stuff up, they're not going to have a rally of Black people coming together and let's protest because they think they're going to tear it up. That is not the way to act. That is not the way you get your point across. That's not going to make people take you seriously. That's going to make people come and arrest you. That is not going to get anything solved. So rioting, tearing, I believe in peaceful protests. I believe in rioting to a degree, but when you have to destroy your own town, you're tearing up your own neighborhoods. When there was what happened in Charlotte a few years back, when a guy didn't get convicted and they started rioting, tearing up everything. This was about 4 or 5 years ago. You're tearing up your own stuff. Now where are you going? Now your Family Dollar, you can't even go to the Family Dollar because you done busted it out.
It's not my
what are you talking about? They tore up uptown. No family.
They tore up a lot of. They tore up Black
They
businesses
tore
too.
up
They
uptown.
tore up some Black businesses downtown. I worked at Marsh for many years. They got their window busted. Why would you tear up a Black business? Why?
But why would
What
you
is that
assume?
solving?
But so here's the thing: you're assuming it was only Black people
It
tearing shit
was.
up
It
because
was.
they're
It was.
it
It
was not.
was.
It was
It was.
not. Boo.
They
Prove
got
it.
them on camera. It was Black folks.
Right.
No,
What are
you're
you
not.
talking about?
You're not
Yes,
listening.
it was.
Sorry, you're not
It
listening.
was Black folks.
So I just want to make sure I understand this.
So you think it was white people tearing up stuff? Thank you.
Yes. Yes, white
Even
people
in one of
riot
the
when their
videos,
favorite
it was a
team
white
loses.
woman that was
White people
losing to
riot
Target.
when they
He's
can't
not
get their
saying
way.
that white people don't riot. He's saying that in a riot that was supposed to be about a Black Lives Matter, there were 3 Black businesses downtown that were destroyed in the riots by Black people. They were all on camera.
And at that
So
point,
that's
Okay.
not
I
helping
I want to
anything.
stop for a second. Hold on. Everybody, hold on. Everybody stop.
Who is this Dre
Because
boy?
when we talk over each other, hold on. Whenever we talk over each other, hold on. Whenever we talk over each other, we cannot hear. Okay? So you got to make sure that you let each other talk. I know that we want to hone in on different things and different things people say, but we can't operate like that because we can't hear each other. So just make sure that when we're talking, the other person kind of pivot or hold on and let that person finish before we start commenting again because we're starting to get loud.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because there's passion behind it.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. I love the conversation. I love the way it's going. I appreciate that. I just want to make sure that when that our audience hear what we're talking about because it's important. It's important.
You know, I would love to hold hands and skip down to the police station and be like, you know what? Don't hurt me anymore. You guys have been hurting me and people who look like me for 400 years, and I would love it if you guys would just stop it. But you know what, sweetheart? It's not going to happen like that. Whoopsie damn do.
But
Boo Boo
also
and Ray
though,
Ray stole
we
3
also
TVs from
have
Target.
been.
Oh my God. It's in the world. Now, nobody's going to respect this because Boo Boo and Ray Ray stole TVs from Target. Nobody respected us anyway before they busted their ass to Target. So it doesn't even matter about burning their shit. You're going to get your shit back. These people who are murdered by the police are not coming back. That's the point.
Okay, so my thing is,
I don't care about people not want to hold my hand or be nice to me because other black people are doing it. So what?
I got a question.
Like,
that's
not what we're talking about. We're talking about coming up with a plan about so we can be in the country where we don't have to worry about being murdered for being us. I don't care about the rioting. I don't care about I care about being the house.
I got a question.
Like, that's what I care about.
Hold on 1 second, Shawn. So what does me going into a store, walking out with 24 with TVs to take back to my house to have that I didn't? So what does that contribute to any situation that you're talking about? Explain it to me.
I mean, your house would be dope.
So what's the purpose behind
the real purpose?
We could do Madden at your house. Madden at your house. I'll bring the mimosas.
The fuck? I don't care about the fucking Walmart. I don't care about no motherfucking Target. Fuck Walmart. Fuck Target. I care about us coming together.
Oh, what were you saying, Shawn?
I was muted. I'm sorry, y'all. I was following that at Jasmine because the comment that she made. Yo, I can't. She said your house will be dope. It's no shame.
I said the same thing. It'll be nice.
I'm sorry, y'all. They took me out. But no shame. The question that I got for all of us as being African American people, because a lot of times I hear us, how we've been about the situation and we have so much concern and we care about it. As a community, as a whole, do you not feel as though sometimes we do feed into the stigma?
Of course we do.
And it's certain situations that bother me. It'd be like we will hear the news and see certain stories about how we seen a black guy. He wasn't resisting, right? He wasn't giving up. He wasn't putting up a fight when the police or the white cop was arresting him, whatever the case may be, right? But what about the ones that were getting killed? The ones that were giving these cops reasons to actually chase them, to do something to them, or make it feel like
being chased is not a reason to be killed.
Right. They have a lot of reasons.
Unless that person is shooting back at you and literally your life is in danger, you have no right to take out your gun and shoot at anyone. When you look at the fucking FBI and the Army and their rules of engagement, it's illegal. They will go to jail and get court-martialed for the shit that these cops in this country do on a regular basis.
I believe it.
I am very much here for all of the any means necessary shit, but random acts of violence is not by any means necessary. Random acts without any direction is not helping anything. I understand the anger and you want to do shit, but what is that helping? What is that doing? How is that moving us forward in this fight?
So what is it that we have to do as a community, as a black whole, because our voices aren't doing enough?
Can I ask a question?
We are not unified.
But let me ask you a question, right? Real quick, before you unify all our people. I just got one, maybe two questions. No, did I forget the question? Shit. Hold on. It was good too. Okay, I got it. I figured it out. Okay.
There you go.
So when we behave poorly in the eyes of the media and a certain demographic that has most of the control or all of it, because that's what racism is. When we behave poorly and riot and hurt people and destroy black property and stuff, and we look bad. So and if that is the case, then every day that you don't have a riot, we look good. We've been doing the status quo. We should all have participation trophies by now. I mean, every day that you are not operating outside the means of society's norms, you should be exceeding.
No.
Right? No.
Okay.
That's what you're supposed to do. I mean, when you're tearing up, no one can still answer the question, what is it solving? What is it solving? It's clearly black people still getting killed. Clearly the police still don't respect us and stuff is still happening. So we're going to tear up some more stuff? I mean, what is it solving? That hasn't worked.
I mean, black police officers are not they don't help. Neighborhood officers don't help.
I want to point out we have not tried my plan. My plan was kill people. Again, y'all talk about tearing up stuff. You start killing people, then people start behaving. See, we talk about two different conversations. I realized that. You talking about tearing down Target and all that. I'm talking about getting rid of the CEO of Target altogether. Oh, wait, that sounds incriminating. That's not what I mean. What I'm trying to say
I'm getting up off of here for they try to link me to that. I knew something was going off with you.
what I'm saying is so like
You say that on the live.
My bad. I didn't mean like that. I misunderstood. Another thing is too, just because a business is black, you don't know if that black business is giving to the black community, right?
Hello?
So you just because you were like 3 business, no offense, Patrice. I'm sorry I'm picking on you. You should never invite me to your stuff ever again. I'm sorry. You know who your friends are. And so like the black businesses uptown, some might be really good, giving back to the black community, a fixture, a pillar. But some other businesses might have been owned by black Republicans. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying not all skin folk is kin folk. So not all businesses should be treated the same.
That's very true.
See, I keep saying the stuff while you say it, Jasmine, in the middle of your stuff, and then you say it, and then
my bad. You know what? I'm taking up a lot of space. If you put me backstage, I could go get a drink.
No. While you said that, I was just saying yes. Kinfolk ain't kinfolk.
That's very true.
That is true.
That's very true.
I just wish people. It's like everybody has the right to difference of opinion, but it seemed like black folks in general just have a hard time coming together. The Jewish community, they dollar vote around 10, 20 times before they even have to go outside of the community. Asians, same thing. Black folks, we don't even have 5 businesses in the 20 block radius. There's an app for black businesses.
Do you guys understand the history of black business? Do you feel like there might be some anxiety for having a black business?
Well, and only in America,
black road, it was destroyed.
Only in America, because I think American black people are brainwashed.
So
we are brainwashed. Go to Africa. Go to Africa
and be make our own business and make our own. We did this. We're not new to this. We true to this. We have businesses that were successful. We have,
but we don't like to see each other. But we don't like to see each other eat, though, Bryce.
No,
and that is the problem.
And it could be.
Unfortunately, that crabs in a barrel thing is still real in the black community, and that's why you don't see a lot of unity with our people. You have people that have come from poor backgrounds, have gone to college, have made it, have money, and they turn around and look down on those people that came from the same neighborhoods that they come from. You can't unify people when you can't even acknowledge where you came from where you're going today.
Okay.
As a people, we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? We watch, just like I would get angry and mad at Cardi B and Megan, all this stuff on TV. If I could get my hands on those ladies, I would sit down and have a long conversation with them about why do you think that this is the music that you need to put out to make money? Why is making money so important that you would degrade yourself and every other woman walking around in this fucking country that looks like you?
Yep.
And it goes back to black people.
It's for the money.
About how we could come together and be safe.
Because imaging has a lot to do with coming together and why we can't come together and unify.
Because it's not cool. It's not cool in the black community to wear a suit and tie. For the most part,
so we got to have good images to be respected and live good lives.
No, but we have to be able to let each other live and still be unified in a common cause to do so.
Okay, so if letting people live, that means she should be able to make whatever music she wants to make and still be respected.
I didn't say she couldn't. I said I want to have a long conversation with them.
But the image that she's portraying doing her music, though, you can't sit. It's like it's like, okay, and
you contradict
I get where Patrice coming from. You can't sit and say like how these rap women, like how the girls in the rap industry, they get together and they say, "Oh, black girls, what is the black essence?" While the black girls rock, they get together and they have this big thing where black girls are all supposed to be unified and great. But at the same time, when you're making songs degrading black women, and then you come back and you say that, I feel like you've been a hypocrite. You're not true to what you're standing for. If you're really with your women, then you're gonna be making songs and you're gonna be talking about unifying black women or unifying the black culture. Period. It doesn't make sense.
And so
they go and they make this music.
One.
And for me, that kind of links to Black people we want to be respected and looked at as equals, but then you turn around and make a song about how many Black people you about to shoot in the street and fuck everybody that ain't with my set and all this other shit. There are a lot of contradictory things in pop culture for the Black community that is very toxic, period, across the board. And I think that has a go ahead, Chandler, I'm sorry.
And I definitely agree with that too, right? But I think it's a psychology thing though. Like we've been suppressed for so long to where we literally sometimes people really don't, it's like they don't know any better almost. But I feel like once you know better, you could do better.
You can do better.
And I do agree with that too. But it's like, why are we being held to such a higher standard than them? Like, and don't get me wrong. I feel like, we definitely need to hold ourselves to a standard. But it's crazy how, like you said, Michelle Obama this, Michelle Obama that, but there's literally a porn star as a first lady in the White House. You know what I mean? And then, okay, Nicki Minaj twerking, abomination. Then we got Miley Cyrus, white chicken, big chicken sitting out here twerking, and it gets raved upon. You know what I mean? And a lot of the times they'll abuse our culture, then criticize our culture, then recycle it and use it for their own.
Okay, I have to ask them. Why are we defining respect and respectability by the white patriarchy standards?
Thank you.
Like
I don't think the respect levels that I'm talking about have anything to do with race. I'm talking about just basic common decency, respect for humanity.
I said white patriarchy. I didn't say anything about anybody like white patriarchy. Something like I'm not talking about an individual race. What I'm saying is by talking about respectability through a certain lens, like what is respectable behavior? Because I have no kids. I'm a single woman, no kids. I go to my job every day. I should be able to show all the parts of me that are not violating a legal law. Now I'm not respectable. Like that doesn't. What I wear doesn't define me because I'm not living by their standards.
It doesn't. It doesn't define you. But what you present to the world does have influence on other people, especially people that are younger and are easily influenced. Those are my questions. Those are my worries. I don't really give a fuck what an adult is doing with their life. If it's not touching anybody and nobody else can see you, carry the fuck on.
So then why do we hold musicians to this standard when what is it? When
it's not just musicians.
Wait. I'm just gonna say, like, don't be rude like me. All I'm trying to say, be better than me. What I'm trying to say though is, like, why is it we can have a movie where Denzel Washington kills somebody, right? He's the bad guy, and everybody can go, that is a character. He is playing in a movie. But then if I start my rap career as Tata Lalicious Jones, when I talk about all the hoes I'm a smack and booty cheeks I'm a clap, now we got a problem. Why can't Tata, since we know my mama, I hope we know my mama did not name me Tata Lalicious because she didn't want me to succeed. But if she had not, and my name was something else, like Lucy, and I, because I'm something, and I was like, oh, I'm changing my name to Tata, right? I'm a character when I'm Tata, but when I'm Lucy, I'm somebody else. Why when they're performers, you're automatically a role model? I had nothing to do with the fluids that the two people who exchanged when they exchanged them and made this thing called a person. The people that should be responsible for being good role models to said little goopy person that turned, like, what, they're called babies. The people who should be responsible for the babies are the two people that made said baby or whomever is involved in that. Don't put that responsibility on me.
And we also need to make sure that we
both
understand
know.
that Black children
Hold
have
on,
personal
1 second.
It takes a
Just
village.
because you grow
takes
up
a
into a
village.
certain genre,
Wait a minute.
doesn't
Wait a
mean that you're
minute.
gonna
Wait a
limit
minute.
that or
Wait a
do that.
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because I do not agree with that. I think that we know that it takes a village to raise a child. Whether those people are involved or not, it takes a village. And what I also believe too is that what our child is not always inside of our perspective, our point of view, or at hand's wrist. Our child go to school. our child watch TV. There are things that our child get into that we don't know. So a lot of social media, TV platforms, going to school, a lot of that is raising our kids. It ain't just the parents that have that
It
first
sounds
impression
like
on,
you need to
on what they should do
homeschool your kids and don't let them be on social
It's not
media.
even about homeschooling.
I'm
It's not
about
even
to say
about
something, but
homeschooling.
I'll say it to you
Because
at the camera,
if you don't
Jonathan.
have
I'll say it to
children,
you at the
it's
we
kind
get
of
over here,
hard to
Jonathan.
chime in on that. Because if you don't have children, it's kind of hard to say, oh, well, homeschooling, that because you're still not with your child 24 hours a day. It's kind of impossible.
What I'm saying
to do
is
that.
though,
And it's kind of
but like
so it's
because
kind of
you
like,
have kids, I have to
Hold
behave a
on,
certain
Jasmine.
way.
Hold on.
no, it's not because I have kids. It's not because I have kids. It's just because overall, like Johnny said, it does take a village. And whether you choose to do that or not, I am in control of what my children do, or I try to be. Like I said, like Johnny said, there are scapegoats. You know, there are holes that are gonna intertwine in that. But it's kind of like if I didn't have children, I would feel the same exact way. I'm gonna act accordingly because I don't want someone looking up to me saying, oh, especially if this is a character. If we see Denzel Washington in one movie, we might see him in another movie in a totally different light. Like you said, we might see Denzel as a murderer, and then we might see him as Malcolm X. So it's not like he's playing one particular role. Rappers or artists are playing one particular role. They're licious or whatever you said all the time. So this is who they're perceived to be all the time. They sell drugs. They fuck hoes or whatever it is that they do all of the time. It's not like an actor or an actress. It's like kids don't assume that they're acting. They assume that, oh, okay, this person is living that life. They're a rapper. They came from nothing. They got something, like their song says, and that's what they go by.
Unfortunately, that's true. And if you notice when I was talking about those ladies, I didn't say role model, and I didn't say role model for a reason. It's not about being a role model. It's about that your art or your genre is exposed to other people. I don't have kids. I don't like kids. But I am also very aware that what I may do in front of a child has an effect on that child. And so that's what I mean by that. As a culture, we react, especially I would hate to be a child now with all this stuff going on. We react so much to when somebody gets shot, but we don't really change. So what are we teaching our kids? To be angry, to hate, but not really how to fix things. I mean, how to move forward.
Let
When
me
you in the
say
public
this.
eye,
Let me say this. I watch my sister. One of my sisters raised her son, and I listen to the stuff that she tells her son every morning before he walks out that door as a little African American male. She tells him, "You're great. You're smart. You're beautiful." She tells him all this encouraging stuff when he leaves out the door. Okay. The fact of when he leaves out the door, knowing that when he grows up, that these things that he was raised with may not even amount to anything when he becomes of age. Because you got to understand, as a man, we was told these things when we was raised. As a black man, I was told certain things. Now that I'm older, those things are okay. The police brutality that I'm saying, that don't have nothing to do with what my mom was telling me. She raised me to be respectful, to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. I was raised that way. That gets me nowhere.
I think it gets you a lot further than you give yourself credit for. Because sometimes, I mean, unfortunately, being black men in America, you have to suck up and kiss a little bit of ASS, especially to the police, if you want to keep your life. And it's just sad that it's that way. It's sad that it's that way. But if you want to be one of the ones that live, when you're in certain situations, you have to be quiet. And then you really don't understand it unless you are a black man, because being stopped by police, being in a situation, especially when you're alone, you have to suck it up and say yes sir, no sir, keep it moving, or go to jail. I've been on both sides of it. I've been to jail and I've said nice things and went on home. I've got a terrible temper. You can ask Patrice, I can get out of control sometimes. But I've grown and learned how to handle certain situations in a way that's upholding and respectful, not just myself, but as black people in general. It's sad that you have to carry ourselves that way. We have to be different than the normal. But at the end of the day, we are different. Clearly, we are the only ones that are we're not the only ones getting killed, but we're the main race house that are getting killed by the police, that are getting disrespected. So that is something that we have to, if we carry ourselves a certain kind of way, we will demand respect. You know, you have to carry yourself in order to demand respect. You have to
Even
carry
with the
yourself in
carrying
that way.
yourself with respect, I feel like that gets you nowhere. You can be respectful. You can say no, sir, and yes, sir. You can sit there with your hands up and not do anything. You can sit there and
That's
say,
all
"Hey,
true.
listen," and still, regardless, is because of the color of your skin. This person looks at you as if you're like this demon that they're just looking at that you're just so awful
And
that the
the
person
sad thing
And
about
that
that
is
is
what racism is.
this is something that has been going on in this country. This country was built on racism and stealing stuff and taking stuff away from people and taking violent measures to get what they want. We have always been second class citizens. So then we were slaves. We've been brainwashed since we got here. We've been institutionalized since we got here. There's nothing that is going away anytime soon. Black people in America and black people in Africa, two totally different, both black people, two totally different way of how they operate. You go to Africa, black districts everywhere. It's a whole continent full of
First of
beautiful
all,
black people that own their own businesses,
Africa
have
is
their
a
own
bunch of
land.
different
That have,
countries. They're not all the same culture. This
I understand that, sweetie,
generalizing is
but at the end
BS.
of the day,
I mean,
Africa and the black people in Africa and the black people in America are two totally different kinds of people.
okay. So I understand what you mean, sweetie. But what I was saying, like when you keep saying Africa, are you including South Africa? Because that's in Africa too.
South Africa too, all of it.
South
I'm
Africa. So
talking about Africa.
you're including the white
Okay,
Africans.
I don't need you to antagonize. I just need you to hear my
No,
point.
no, I'm
My
not trying.
point
Your
is,
point doesn't make sense though. No
my
matter how
point
well
is,
you behave, no
my
matter
point
how
is,
well you behave, if they shoot you before you can give them your ID, it doesn't fucking matter.
matter.
It doesn't. Sorry.
no one's saying that's not true.
Yeah,
No
yes,
one
you
is
are.
saying
You're
that it's
like, if
not
you
true.
say
That
yes,
goes
sir,
back
yes,
to the
ma'am, no,
point.
you
That goes
get
back to
some.
the point. So if you think if you tear stuff up, that's going to stop them from killing you. If
First
you
of all,
tear
you
stuff
bet.
up,
So again,
you know.
again, how many times do I have to correct you? I have not advocated tearing stuff up. I said people. I never said anything about property. I keep trying to explain this to you, sir. You
No.
talking
That's
about
the same
stuff.
thing.
I'm talking about people, and they're
Same
not the
thing.
same.
Okay, so whether or
No,
not it's
no, it's
tearing it up, acting out aggressively and violently is not going to solve the issue. I would like for it, maybe the point of conversation is to talk about issues that are actually talk about resolutions that actually are feasible things that can be done to change the
Do
situation.
you have any data
Other
to show
than,
that your methods work?
do
Do
you
you
have
have
any
any?
methods? Well, no,
No, yes, so
but I do
yes,
know,
yes.
I
Historically,
do know that
we have actual historical data that nothing changes without physical violence. Historical evidence.
I'm gonna need
Nothing
receipts.
changes.
I'm gonna need receipts.
Civil War?
I'm gonna need receipts.
Can someone give this young man a
That wasn't
history
a
I'm
book?
gonna need
change.
receipts.
That wasn't a
I'm gonna need
change for
receipts.
anybody except for
Because
the white
we
people.
are not a government. Black people are the whole. We're not the government. We don't run shit. Clearly. So us tearing up stuff and getting violent and beating up people and doing all kind of stuff like that is not going to change one police officer's view of a black person. It's not. So I need receipts that shows that violence or
Until
being
the
aggressive.
federal
I need
government
receipts.
starts to hold people accountable, hold cops accountable for killing innocent people, it's not going to change. The federal
Exactly.
government is not going to change the law until we vote people into office that can make that law happen.
Oh my God.
They're not going to take the liquor stores out the ghetto. They're not going to put more affordable health care for black people. They're not going to. They're not going to do any of that tomorrow. We need
So
that stuff.
again, I did
Right.
Really.
not advocate. So
Right.
this
But
is my problem. You're talking about what my issue is. You again and I are not talking about the same thing. You can't lump violence in with
Well,
the
first I was talking
destruction of
about
property.
Africa. I was talking about Africa, and I was trying to make a point, but you took it away.
You talking about Africa is
Right.
ignorant because you're talking
No,
about
it's not
Africa.
ignorant. You have to let people finish their point, Jasmine.
You
People,
sound like
you need to
you
let
sound
people
like a
speak.
white person who doesn't know that
hold
Africa
on.
is
You
more
sound like
than one
you
country.
sound okay. Oh, okay.
I'm
Wait, hold
serious.
on.
Oh
Hold on.
wow.
Okay. Hold
Okay.
on. I'm gonna
Okay,
stop. I'm
that's
gonna
She's
stop.
enough. Time out.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus
I'm gonna
Christ.
time y'all out 1 second. I just want to remember. Try not to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you, Mr. Mr. Homo. But try
Oh.
not to. But try not to.
Wow.
Name call and things like that. We gotta stay away from that and respect everybody's
Yeah.
opinion.
Right.
One of the things. And I'm gonna bring this back on in a second. But one of the things that I did want to talk about and actually hone in on is I don't know who said it. I don't know if it was Jamal. I'm not sure if it was Shawn. I don't really remember. But there was a comment that was that said. I'm trying to see who was at the computer. There was a comment that said that when I'm stopped by police, using no sir, yes sir, and things like that,
Yeah, I said that.
seems to get you continue to get you further. Let me say this, because this is something that I talked about with one of a good friend of mine who's a female, and if she decides to say something, I'll let her do that. But that was a conversation that me and her have had of a long time ago. Well, not that long ago, and I expressed to her when I get stopped by police, I do get scared. I get very nervous, very nervous, and I do tend to say yes sir, no sir. I try to be as respectful as I can, right? As a black man, because I don't know what the fuck is gonna pop up. I don't know
Exactly.
what his mindset is, her, him, her. I don't know, and I don't want to antagonize being rude or being obnoxious because just because of what happened last week, the week before last, and end up losing my life. I don't want to be a martyr. I
Exactly.
don't want to die for the cause. I don't want to die, and
No.
things like that. And I think that's your point.
Right.
And it is sad, and it is very
sad.
sad. I will say to Jasmine, it is very sad that I have to stoop so low to call this man yes sir, no sir at 28 years old, probably younger than I am. But out of respect, I have to obligate it to do so that my life is saved.
And if you want to live, that's how it is.
But I understand that as a black man, I understand because I do it and I will continue to do it until something fucking changes. Yes, sir, no, sir. I am nervous. I don't know what the fuck this man about to do to me.
Exactly. And if being biting a bullet and being nice and being respectful
and still get shot.
That's true. It's always gonna be some bad outfits. I mean, it's not a surefire way, but I'll tell you what.
He literally said,
"It's definitely not.
It's not a surefire way, but you'll have more of a chance of staying alive being civil than not being not civil. Acting a monkey and showing your ass.
Between being civil,
not necessarily.
There's a big difference between being civil and kissing ass. And what I'm not going to sit there and do is yes sir, no sir. You is what I'm not going to do because I mean
out
of respect. Out of respect for. I'm sorry, I'm getting loud. Out of respect for people.
No, it's okay.
I'm going to say, I'm going to be respectful, but what I'm not going to do is do no overkill in hopes that you save my life. Now, I'm not going
to. Unfortunately, I mean, there's no. I understand. I respect your opinion, and that's what you're not going to do. But unfortunately, that's how I was raised.
Let it finish. Let it finish.
Unfortunately,
let it finish.
What you gotta do.
I mean,
let it finish. Go ahead, Tamla.
For me, in my house, I'm going to teach my children to be respectful of all people. All people, not just
all people,
respecting the masses so that they don't get killed. Yes, I'm going to teach them to be hyper aware to what's going on in this world. Yes, I will do that. But what I'm not going to do is tell them to put them on a different pedestal so they can live another day. Because like I said, because if something happens to me or my children or anybody I know, I'll burn it down. I don't care because they didn't care about me or them. Sorry.
Do you guys remember that health aide that was with the child that was mentally
autistic child?
He was an autistic child, and the man was laying on the ground, arms up. He was laying flat on his back. I think supine, arms up, legs spread out. Like, please don't shoot me. I'm his health aide, and the cop shot him.
Yep.
I mean, I shouldn't laugh at that, right? But it's funny because, like he did.
Right.
He got shot.
I think the thing that most people are not really cognizant of is that when these things are happening, these cops have been abusing people and hurting people and getting away with it for years. These are not first instances. These are cops that are habitual offenders. They don't see these people as people, number one. So they're not even listening to anything that they're saying. They tapped out as soon as they saw a black man. So what you're saying at that moment doesn't matter for those particular people. Yes, there are some people that get pushed into, I'm going to rough you up and do all this other shit. I have been on the side of, fuck, I just got pulled over by 3 fucking cops at 3:00 in the morning in Charlotte by my goddamn self. I'm not about to yes ma'am, no ma'am you, but I'm gonna be nice enough to where you don't drag my black ass to jail. I've also been on the other side where I've been like, you know what? I rolled my window down just enough to stick my fucking license out. Here you go. It's really about the officer that you get at the time. There is no guarantee there is a specific way to act that's gonna get you out of anything with anybody. But until there is actual law in place that makes it illegal to shoot innocent people, this will continue. It's not even about what we do as a people. Until the laws change, nothing is going to change. And that's what's so fucked up.
Yeah, I hear what you and I hear all of that, and I do, like I said, to a point. I'm very conflicted when I say that. I'm very fucking conflicted when I say that. Because I agree with Jasmine. I agree with Chandler. I agree 100% agree with what you guys are saying in regards to how you kissing ass ain't gonna always help, or it don't help, and sometimes it don't help. But I don't want to antagonize the situation, because any wrong move, any wrong thing that I say at that particular point, my life is no longer inside of my own hands.
Right.
And that's just,
I get
and
it.
that's just
So
on that.
no, you just made a great point that I did not think about.
Mm-hmm.
And what you talked about is you want to live. Self-preservation. You want to get out of your traffic stop alive. I got you. I want that for you too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about in the situations when you don't make it out alive, when they don't make it home. I want people to burn it down. Now, I'm not saying wake up tomorrow and revolt. I'm saying if they give you a reason,
Mm-hmm.
if we
Yeah.
have a reason, if we are inspired, if we are impassioned, this is the time to strike. I'm not saying like, let's all plan this big coup in a month,
Right.
I'm saying if we're already there, that's the time to strike. If we're going to do it while you are pissed off and full of adrenaline and you people, the world is watching. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm acknowledging that it could take the sacrifice of one's life.
So we
It's
go
not.
back to one of the biggest riots in American history after the riot in King Riots, South Central LA. Tore up everything. I mean, black business, they tore up first thing in sight, burnt down whatever they could find. People got shot, killed.
Mm-hmm.
What did it solve? What happened? What did it solve? Did it solve anything? I'm just trying to understand, what is that going to solve? That's all I want. I want black people to come together and find a different solution other than tearing stuff up
So
or getting
first of all,
upset.
the question I'd like to ask is,
You can't answer a question with a question. I want to know what has happened.
You have to define solve. Because to me, what it solves is if they burnt down the business, the person that threw the Molotov cocktail saw their arts and craft project in purpose. That's what it says to me.
But
So you need
still,
to
in the year 2020,
you asked me what it solves, and I'm
20
telling
years
you.
later, 20 years later, same thing is happening except worse. People are actually getting shot and killed, not just beat up. They're getting killed. So it didn't solve anything.
Wait a minute. I said
They didn't respect us anymore because we did that.
I didn't say that. What I said is define solve. If my objective was to burn down the building, then it solved my objective. I achieved my goal. So that's the problem with the whole concept of unite. We all have different opinions about what unity looks. What you want for Black America might not be what I want for Black America. So we can't.
I honestly don't think there should be a difference. This is supposed to be the land of the free. This is a country full of immigrants. It should be no Black America,
This is
no
not
white
a
America,
country full of
no all
immigrants,
of that.
though.
Yes, this is.
If you
This is a country full of
if you
native
are a
immigrants.
if you are a descendant of slaves, your family did not immigrate.
America was stolen from. We stole America from the Native Americans. Come on now, let's not go back.
We
This is a
didn't steal
country
anything.
full of immigrants. This is a country of immigrants. This is a country of immigrants.
No
one is
immigrant
from here.
Someone.
No one, even the white people that run this country.
An immigrant, for people who have no access to a dictionary, is someone that leaves their country by choice and travels to another land. If you have been kidnapped, taken against your will, sold involuntarily, that is not immigration. That's kidnapping, human trafficking, or slavery. I'm never gonna get to come back, am I? This was only supposed to be an hour. I'm so sorry.
Yes, you're fine. Go ahead, Jamal. Go ahead, Jamal.
Yeah, I mean, it's just with the over argument. I deal with this enough when I was working in the public. Like, even today, like, we can't come together and just listen to one another. Better yet, change a solution or have a solution to a big problem. We can't come together and just respect differences of opinions and listen and let people speak without getting upset and wanting to be right. It's at the end of the day, everybody got an opinion that has a right to it. It's not about trying to make a person feel less than or this or that and this and that. Everybody got their own opinion. If you want to go tear stuff up, that's what you want to do. That's not what I choose to do. At the end of the day, I would like to say, what is a solution to make the problem go away. Like Tree said, until the laws change,
And
it's not going to change. In England, the police don't even carry guns. They don't even have guns. It's illegal to have a gun over there. If you get caught with a knife, you're going to prison for 7 years. I mean, we don't have that here. You don't hear about people getting shot and killed in UK because they don't have guns. Guns are the problem.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't give police officers that authority over people, we wouldn't be dying. And that's to me, that's a
there was
solution.
one
Take the
thing.
guns away from the police.
Jamal, that's one thing.
That was one thing.
I agree that you said.
There was one thing that we kind of talked about a little bit and grazed up on it, and there was a quote that I wanted to read out, kind of touch up on that. And I know that we are over time. I'm totally okay with that. The conversation is too juicy to stop. There will be a part 2 to this, so I definitely want to invite you guys as well. But I want to hear what you guys think about this comment. And it was and he gave me permission to read and name drop him. So he gave me permission as well. He wasn't able to be a part of the conversation tonight, but he had a comment, and it was about black on black crime and how it relates to what's going on right now. So he had made a comment saying, well, black on black crime is not a thing now. We so stuck on police brutality, but we killing our own people, and got a lot of backlash from that. And I wanted to read what he said in regards to his response to the backlash. And he said, Devin Bartfield, so I'm not allowed to say that there is black on black crime. My innocent brother was killed sitting in a car waiting for his friend when a fight broke out, and his brothers from another mother start shooting, and a bullet goes through the car and hits my brother. I believe that's a crime where there were black people like me. My second oldest sister was killed inside of a hit and run by another one of my brothers. A brother from another mother. He used that term all the time. Who pinned my brother between the car and climbed and hopped over the fence, leaving him for dead. I believe that's a crime that he committed too, from a black man that was just like me. My sister was put into a detention center for being labeled as an angry black girl. Inside of that detention center, my sister was found dead, hanging from her bedroom ceiling after being sent back to her room from fighting with another sister from another mother who went back and actually hung her. Y'all don't get to tell me there's no such thing as black on black crime. That term doesn't mean other communities doesn't experience the same crimes towards each other, but it's not like it doesn't exist. We too are the problem to our own community. We argue. My argument has always been, how can we divide, fight division? How can we be divided and fight division? But my community will shun me for this belief. We will walk different paths in life, and you can't belittle or diminish others' thoughts in their own. If you guys understood that, because I did struggle a little bit because it was small, my eyes bad. What do you guys kind of think about that?
I think it was
I
deep.
kind of think it's irrelevant as far as the topic at hand, because it's like we don't put emphasis on white on white crime, or Hispanic on Hispanic crime, or Chinese on Chinese crime, or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of like the issue at hand is racism. So it's kind of like if whites are killing blacks or minorities because of the color of their skin, then that's a total different entity from black people killing black people, because that does happen. Indeed, it does. People kill people. That's what happens.
People kill people in the nearest proximity. You're right.
That part. So I think that's like comparing oranges and apples. I don't think that's comparable to being judged or hunted down because of the color of your skin.
No, it's not. I'll definitely agree. It's not. It's comparable, but it is not comparable. I see what you're saying. If you want other people to respect us, if we're showing that we're not even respecting ourselves, why are they going to respect us? That's what I'm taking from it.
That's true.
If you say that we demand the same respect as white people, we don't need to be treated this way. Don't shoot us, don't kill us. But we out here robbing and shooting and killing, and we have the most same race black on black crime than any other race has. You don't see a whole bunch of Jewish people going out killing each other. You don't see a whole bunch of Mexicans. Maybe I don't know the statistics of everything, but I am pretty sure black on black crime is the highest amongst any race. It's the highest. You don't see a whole bunch of white people killing one another. You don't see a whole bunch of Asians killing one another. You don't see that.
Is there a fact check on this podcast?
like I said, go ahead and do it while I'm talking. You can go and fact check. But I'm pretty sure that black on black crime is more prevalent than any other race. And for what we're going out here doing and saying the respect that we deserve, I think that needs to stop. Can nobody disagree
I
and say
want
that
to
needs
say
to stop?
something because Jasmine made a good point. I do want to say this. This is a panel conversation. Nothing that anybody is saying on this conversation is completely law. I challenge you if you hear things that you want to go back and actually read up on, look up, and things like that, and fact check on your own. I suggest that you do that because this is not law. This is all opinionated conversation from different walks of life. So I thank you for pointing that out, Jasmine, in that light, so that we can let the people know that they can have the opportunity to go out and actually do that on their own. For me, when I read that, I jumped on it. I believed that I was all for it. I was all for it until I talked to somebody, and I talked to somebody, and they said to me, "That makes sense. I get what that person's saying. However, as it relates to police brutality, we depend on the police for our safety. I don't depend on Jamal for my safety as another black brother. I don't depend on Bryce for my safety as another black brother. I depend on 911 first responders to come and help me. And if I'm nervous or I'm second guessing calling the police for something that just happened to me, that's the problem. That's one thing that I kind of took away from that conversation that I had with somebody about that passage. That I agree with when I first read it, but then actually reading it and talking through it with somebody was like, okay, it makes so much sense on why it wouldn't be as relevant as what's going on right now. Black Lives Matter, police brutality is killing us. This is something bigger. We need to fix that so that we can fix the other stuff that's internal. Because truth be told, quiet is kept. Jasper made a good point. You were shooting people that are in range. Projects is named projects for a reason.
And where there's
Not
poverty,
saying
there's
that all,
crime.
and not saying that everybody, that all these shootings happen in the projects. I'm not saying that at all. However, where that mindset of is ingrained so much in us that it's hard to get away from that when you're somewhere else.
Yeah. Like I said, we brainwashed as a community for the most part.
Go ahead, Patrice.
So just a couple of items. The FBI numbers for 2016 do support what Jamal said. Out of 2,800 murders, 2,500 of them of black people, 2,500 of them were done by other black people. Whereas 3,400 murders with white people, only 2,800 were done by other white people. So yes, we do have a disproportionately a large number of murders that we do to ourselves.
Exactly.
Does that have anything to do with this current conversation?
No.
Not really. It just gives them convenient pause and causality when they talk about how we act, or if they run up on a fight or something going on. They didn't know what was going on, so they shot everybody. These are things that have happened, and those are reasons why they use that argument.
Like I said, it's scary.
Does that have anything to do with the fact that we're only like 11%?
That's even worse.
I mean, that's what makes the disproportionate numbers stand out so much, is that we are still a minority, and we're a minority in a large way. But we still have disproportionate numbers when it comes to prison sentences, incarceration rates, murder victims, rape victims, all that kind of stuff that are looked at as negative, or actually are negative, but are mostly because we don't have anybody in our community that cares about the things that happen in our community.
But I think you have to consider the jail to prison the school to prison pipeline we have, the systemic racism that we have, the more hurdles, the more. I mean, like there's higher police presence. I'm just saying. So there's
all of that is a bigger issue.
There was a white man who murdered his whole family. Like the kids, the wife, and they were like, "Oh, poor Todd. He was having a bad day." Like they showed him and his family like all the happy photos, right? It's disproportionate, right? So he was like, they were like, he must be crazy. So Todd didn't get registered as a murderer. He got registered as like a mentally ill patient. I'm just saying there's different policing, there's different judicial systems. I'm not saying crimes didn't take place. All I'm saying is I think there's more nuance to the situation. But I do
All I said
appreciate
was I read an
facts.
FBI report. I
From
mean, I know that.
2016. 2016
Right.
was a
So
long
I'm
time
sure
ago.
that's not all information, but those are the numbers that are actually recorded. We still don't have the correct numbers for how many people cops actually shoot in a year because there are still so many places that don't record that.
Correct.
Right.
Because there's not a law for it to be recorded.
I'm actually getting a message from my supervisor telling me to wrap it up. So I'm gonna head and wrap it up. Let me tell y'all something. And it's everybody. Bryce, I'm gonna take you off for a second for a reason. I'm to the people, my guest panelists that came on. Hold on, I'm sorry. I took Chandler off on accident. Jasmine there, and they go Toya. I want to thank you guys for coming on and being part of this conversation. It don't stop here. There will be a part 2. I'm not exactly sure when yet, but there will be a part 2, and you guys are all invited to come back and be a part of that. We will have more people as well. There are things that we didn't get to talk about. There are topics that we didn't get to talk about that just came up naturally. Again, I want to remind the audience that is still watching that we went into this with no particular agenda at all. We didn't know where the conversation was going to go, where it was going to end. It just happened organically. That's just organic talk, and I love how it happened. And I want to thank you guys for coming on and being part of the conversation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Do, do, do.
All right.
We're playing
Y'all
musical photos.
Uh-oh. Am I Bryce?
No,
I see.
You closed it after you opened it.
I'm
There
still
we go.
backstage. I was about to say I was still backstage.
Okay.
Hi.
You guys, that was so. I got. Let me tell you something. I got full in so many ways just by having that conversation. Like,
You know you're still broadcasting, right?
Yeah, I am. I know I haven't ended it yet. We just gonna close it out. So I loved it. I loved every instance. I loved every part of it. I thought it was very engaging. I love the different perspectives because it showed in so many ways, like how yes, we all have one like common goal, but there's different paths that we're trying to get there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's just different perspectives on us trying to get there. We know that it's wrong. We know that we needed to stop. But how can we do that? And that was one of the points and the main points that I was trying to make when collecting different walks of life, coming on and having that conversation, because that is one of the things that is a problem. Like we all have different paths to walk to get to that goal, and because it's so many pipelines, it's not unified. And do we have to be unified?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Jasmine made a good point. We all may have a different view of what we see our community as being or growing into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
And I think that's a big thing.
I had to get off you guys for a minute. I got emotional about it because it really bothers me. Like I'm really just, it literally just takes me over. Like I can't.
And I didn't mind like the aggressiveness of conversation because it's happened. We get passionate about things that we're talking about and things that matter to us, and so I love the passion and things like that. I wasn't, that wasn't a problem. I just wanted to make sure that the audience heard what we had to say. However, I'm going to go ahead and start closing it out. Just a reminder, we're in the last week of May, which is the ACE walk. So let's go. Let's end hard.
Come on out and give us some money.
Donate. We all have links inside of our pages. You can contact us on social media platforms or give us a call. It don't really matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. I'm Johnny. I work at Rain. I wear a lot of different hats at Rain. I do retention specialist. Go out into the community looking for people who are out of care as it relates to HIV, link them back into care, follow them for a year, and send them on to traditional case management after I have did that training with them. I'm going to go ahead and let Bryce go next. Bryce, can you hear me?
Hey
Bryce, you frozen?
everyone, my name is Bryce Curry. I'm also a specialist at Rain. So what I do is that I find people who have been out of care and get them right back to care, or people who are diagnosed who get them into care within 2 to 3 weeks of their diagnosis. I case manage them for a year, and I help them navigate their care. Along with helping them navigate their care, I also help them get the resources that they'll need to keep them in care, which could be helping them with food, assistance with housing, and many other things that might come in the way of getting you into your care. So if you or someone that you know is positive and needs assistance, please call the number down below. Thank you.
I cannot.
That was a nice little
That was very nice.
It did that.
little
I
commercial.
enjoyed it.
Go ahead, Shawn.
Hey everybody, y'all already know it's your boy Shawn. I am the peer outreach specialist here with Rain with Crew. I specialize in harm reduction as it relates to substance abuse and or addiction. So if you know anyone dealing with those matters and anyone that's may needing help or may needing talking to someone that may need some counseling or therapy, anything of that sort, please feel free to reach out to me with the number below. You can also email me as well. I'm also out in the community educating and advocating about healthy, safe sex practices. And do not forget, I always say this, y'all. It's no joke. I have condoms and lube, okay? For free. Hit me up. Hit me up.
And Miss Mother.
I'm Patrice. I am the prep and prevention case manager here at Rain. I assist people in getting enrolled on prep medication for free. I also assist them with education, job assistance, resumes, food, transportation, anything to help you live your best life. If you know anyone or if yourself would like to get onto prep, please give me a call or text at the number below.
Do that.
All right. And thank you guys for joining us tonight. You guys have a nice one.
Thank you.
Tune in next week. We back next week. Tune in.